And we are ready to begin, and we're so pleased you're here. And as we always say, we have waited for you your entire lives. But today, more of you will believe us, including our messenger, because we caught him off guard, as we wanted to do with all of you. We have said that we've given you a new philosophy that could have each of you live the wonderful lives you were meant to have and to create the world that you wanted to see. But believing in that has been challenging for many of you, including our messenger, even though he's lived it. And you will watch him and you still will think that's not possible. So we stopped him today. We told you on this date last year, on the 10th of April, we said now you can access your greatness, meaning that we have given you a pathway to access your greatness because it's within each of you. And it's within your collective society if more of you decide to own who you are. And we've given you a way to accomplish that through our messenger. He's lived his entire life moving through so many challenges and difficulties that you all experience, but he wrote down the solution, which he's been attempting to give it to you, but he couldn't believe it himself. So today we thought we would prove it to you. Actually, yesterday we began to do it because we told him to sit down and just write the messages through the 13th. You see, the 13th is his lucky day. It's his lucky number, because we reverse it on many of you because you have limiting beliefs. So 13 is his lucky number, and he's lived that at 75 now. So now he can give it to the rest of you, those of you who are willing to become your best self. You will not all do that. We do understand, but we thought at least we will give you the opportunity today because he must change. He's been holding himself back, as you might have heard in some of the channeling sessions that we've done, and one that's on the site today that we had him publish, which you will hear, which is from April 12th of 2025, and you'll hear everything there that's occurring in your world now, but few of you have heard that. So we thought maybe now would be a great time. But we've given you everything that you could possibly want to know because there is alignment in your life and in the universe. And as you move through the messages we're going to have him give you now, you will understand exactly what we mean because there's a trajectory. There's a trajectory of consciousness that exists within all of you. You're just attempting to get to that place where you remember that, where more of you remember it, and you will come in and do that in different ways. And you have those beings who come in like our messenger who says he's a channel or a spiritual guide or whatever it is. He didn't accept any of that. He just wrote it down, though. He was diligent. He was diligent about writing it down and presenting it, and also demonstrating the healing that could occur for all of you. And he asked, well, why would it have been him? Well, you look at his life where he's lived, all the different places he's moved through, all the different challenges, which is what all humans move through, but we've given him the plan. And that plan transcends anything that you've ever had. It transcends any of your religions, any of your other philosophies, because you didn't really address everything, and we've given you the rest of the redress that you could all use that would cause each of you individually to live the lives you wanted to have and your world, because you're all doing it. There's no one human who's creating more than the other. It just depends on when you're going to create yourself. And when you do that, you have the world you want to see. So we thought today would be a great day to break it down, and we caught our messenger off guard, as we've said, because we wanted him to look at last year. He's known that we have given him information a year in advance, even though you talk about precognitive. He's had something beyond that, as we've revealed that he's a savant and he was able to organize information to give it to all of you. And when you come into alignment with who you are, you start to experience healing. You start to experience clarity. You start to experience a higher consciousness. Now, he did it differently than anyone else, and you were meant to do the same thing. And you will see that we've given you a message. But now we're going to show you something else. Because as we had him put down the messages yesterday, we said, now go and look at everything that we have given you beyond the 13th. He thought that was the end because that was his lucky number, but we said, no, we've given it to all of you. And if you move through, we'll just use the end of April. If you move through each date in April, you will see that it's alignment with some shift that's happening in your life and in your world, because we've had our messenger interpret this because he received the information from us, which is in alignment with your universe and all your galactic changes, and he could not have known that. We're saying this because we don't want you to think that you have anything less than he does, because he didn't think he had this. We're saying this because you all have something, and as we've said, you're at a place of restructuring of your world. So it requires more of you to start to believe beyond what you thought was possible if you're going to create something different in your lives or in your world. And sometimes you need bizarre situations like our messenger being stopped in the middle of his day to do this channeling, and we want him to send it to everyone because we need you all to understand, because he's suffered so much grief because this could not have possibly happened. He couldn't have possibly brought in this information, even though we told him in 2021 that he had it all. But see, he's been fighting it since 2005. We're saying this because you each will do something like that in your lives. Otherwise, your world will be in a very different place because you're all creating it. So if each individual could own that aspect of themselves that they came to bring to the world that would cause creation, because it's always about creation, never destruction. But sometimes you have to destroy things before you can see what you want to build. That is within each of you and within your world. And so we thought that maybe you wanted to have a much better world. You wanted to have one that had inclusion and acceptance and love for all others. And we've given you that pathway. And it was so funny because even our messenger couldn't believe it, even though he's living it. We're saying that because you each have done that. You each have something within you. As we've always said, you're eternal spiritual beings. That's all of you. Not all of you will believe that or accept it, but if enough of you do, that's what makes the change. And as you're moving through this period where you've called the big split, we've given you the pathway to get to the other side, and we've said it over and over again. But today you'll be able to hear it because the planets have shifted in a very powerful way. That's going to happen tonight and tomorrow. This is why we've laid it out this way, but we've also laid it out for our messenger so that he can move by Monday. We're saying move because we have given him enough information that if he were to give it to more of you, you would see a dramatic shift in your world because you would all come to greater awareness. But we had to keep him hidden, because otherwise it wouldn't have made sense, you see. Or you would have thought his ego was involved. He's never studied any of this. He's just received it all, and it's completely organized. And we're so grateful that now you have artificial intelligence because we had him prove it to you all, because you all need proof. He did as well. He couldn't have believed this had happened, even though, again, the science will tell you that if you come into alignment with your genetic DNA code, you will experience greater peace, happiness, and love for yourself and for others. Now, just imagine if more people were able to do that, and what you would pass on to others who will come later, because that's what you do. All you do is pass on consciousness. And so as you watch the messages that we had him put up for today, you will see that there's a complete alignment. But then what we're going to have him do now is to put just the list, the messages that we gave you last year, each single day. And if he were to go through them, which we don't want him to do now, but if he were to go through them all, you would see that they're energetic alignments that we have given him that interpreted all the events that are occurring in your world now. Nothing is happening accidentally. It's just that you will figure it out later. And we say you, we mean individuals. Some of you come in to do different things. No one has received information in the way that our messenger has, and so that made it challenging for him to accept. But it's also the same for each of you, because you carry generational patterns that will tell you you're inadequate or you couldn't be the person to do something. He just decided in this life he was going to take on this role to show you what's possible, to show you that you don't have any limitations, and if you decide to move, things will change in your life and in your world. And this is why we had to catch him off guard, as we have done the same for you now. But now you understand what we have given you. And as you move through the information, as you look through the subsequent years, or the year that we gave you last year, and see the order, there is order. Scientists are continually developing ways of understanding how you exist as humans. We've given you a new way. We've given you a being who did not study any of that, but he was able to use consciousness, which is all that you each have, is consciousness. And he's demonstrating that you have the ability to access greater wisdom from just the feelings that you bring into yourself in your consciousness and your thoughts, and you start to be able to manipulate that to manifest the world, the life that you all want to have. And we've given you a way to do that. And now, that article that he was going to write, see, he was going to write this, and he had recorded a video, and he thought, there's something not quite right with it. And this is why we came in, because he can never explain what we've done. He could never explain it in a way that would be logical enough for most of you to accept it, except You will be hard pressed to deny what we're going to have him show you in terms of the order. We're just going to have him give you the titles of what went on from last year, which he had no awareness he was doing. And again, we're saying this because we want each of you to really get this. You are unlimited because everything that you want is outside of you. It's in your consciousness. You decide how far you want to go with it. You decide how much you want to accept, which is why we said on January 1st, of 2012, when we said we gave you all of this information, we said infinite intelligence, you all have it. And you just decide how much you're going to accept, when you're going to do it, and it's relative to your individual life plan, and you each have a divine plan. We've shown you that as well, which is why we had our messenger receive messages on your birthday in 2012, so more of you would have belief, because that is the only thing that you're missing, is belief in yourself and belief in what you can accomplish. But now we've given you a way in this generation of your world to build that way. We had to get him to not be distracted anymore, and now he can get focused and finish. When we say finish, we just want him to put together so much more of the work. We've given enough, so much that none of you could ever possibly consume it, but he's lived it, and so he can condense it and give it to you in a way that gets you there faster. That's what's meant to happen for all of you as you evolve and as you bring in something to the world that's going to help all of those others who will come later. You do not live forever. You're in physical form for a while, so why not make it the best now? Why not live it now and decide that you're going to become who you could be? We've given you the pathway, and now the message that our messenger was going to write is going to make sense for all of you, and he can finally explain why he's been having this difficult time moving ahead in his life, because he's done something none of you have seen, but now you're seeing it, and now you will start to believe it. And that's all that we've ever wanted for all of you, is to believe in yourselves and who you are. And we know that not everyone will have this memory, but those of you who are listening to us, who knows that you have something more to do, who knows that your world could be better, who knows that you are the ones who came to accomplish that, now you will give yourself permission. And that's all that you needed. And once we gave our messenger permission, now he can pass it on to more of you, and you will do the same. And we love you all so very much. Thank you for being here.